Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are live. We have a big panel. We are looking at our top 10 tracks from 1983. This will be fun. We want to hear from you in the chat, so let's get going. This will be good. All right, everybody, let's go.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Good evening, everybody. We are live. Look at this panel. Hey, it's Monday night, and welcome to Grant. Wait a minute, did you see that? That was weird. I don't know what that was. That was a glitch. Anyway, we are live, as you can tell. I want to welcome the panel tonight. We got Mr. B.M. Bolt. We've got Todd Evans. We've got a possum. There he is. DC Tune Time. John the Music Nut. Yvonne is back. He's ready to talk 1983 and Johnny Metal. So we've got a wide range of personalities and a wide range of choices. So we're going to keep it loose. We're going to just talk, have fun. We want to hear from you in the chat. So before we get started, let's see what is happening in the chat. First of all, let's see. Oh my God, oh my God. There's like 8,000. Great year. Can't wait to see what you got picked, brother. You got it, Christian. We're getting there. And from Johnny Metal, I'm bringing the metal for this show. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. We don't call him Johnny Metal for nothing. Nope. Kyle, I unfortunately was not born yet.
Oh my God.
Okay, jeez. Kyle. Well, let's just make us feel old.
Right
off the bat.
One I got T-shirts older than him.
Right off the bat. But I think it was a damn good year for music. It was. You know, to go through this exercise and just pick 10 tracks apiece, it's almost impossible. So. Louis, nice to see you. Kyle, I was only one in 83. What is going on here?
With these
Peter Jones was 21.
Yeah,
Yvonne likes 1983. Tears for Fears, The Hurting. Yeah. Ekon the Bunnyman, The Cutter. Yes.
Good picks already.
New Order, Your Silent Face.
These are all John Metal John's picks right here.
Yep,
that's right. I was looking at some of Metal John's picks, and I don't even know what they are.
New Order's as metal as it gets.
Oh, you got it.
Ooh, The Chameleon's Monkey Land. There you go. Planet. Hey, Logan. Young Logan's here tonight, and he should be at work.
He stole Johnny Metal's list somehow. Man.
Yeah, he stole Johnny Metal's list.
What are we going to do with him?
God, I'm going to have to lay him off. The Music Nut program, hey, there he is. He's here. Men at Work, Overkill. Jason, nice to see you. Who else is here? Tom Petty, Straight in the Darkness. I could have picked that. Jason, everybody, is on his phone and he's on his way home, so don't worry about him. He'll be home soon. Gosh. Rainbow Stranded. Trey, nice to see you. Thanks for coming. I am telling a story. I was. All right, we're going to get going. Everybody, look, Logan, calm down. I know you got to get to bed here in about 10 minutes, so we don't want to keep you up. You old men.
It's 2 o'clock in the night here in Norway.
Yeah, but Yvonne, you're a professional.
Yes.
So, come on. You could talk music all night.
Yes.
All right. Tart cherry juice.
Choice needs water.
Water. There you go. All right.
Oh boy.
Oh, Gary's here. We can start. All right, everybody. Thanks, Gary, for showing up.
Hi, Gary.
We were waiting until you got here.
That's right, Gary.
All right, here we go. We're going to start off with Mr. B.M. Bolt. Go over to Todd Evans. Over to DC Tune Time. John the Music Nut. Yvonne from Norway. And then Johnny Metal. Sorry, a lot of Johnnies in this show tonight. So we're going to go 3, 3, and 4. We're going to keep it moving. I mean, we're not racing through this. We do want to hear from you. All right, BM Bolt, give us your first 3.
Okay, mine aren't ranked like always. There's just 10 songs.
I'll figure it out.
Gary, Joyce, and we seem to overlap a lot on these shows, so we'll see how that goes tonight. I picked like 18 tracks and I couldn't narrow it down. I mean, I gave you 10, of course, but I had like 18. I was like, I don't know.
I thought you told me before you were having trouble with 1983.
No, the problem is I couldn't find 10 that were like, these are my top 10. It was like, okay, here's 18. They're all pretty good. I got to pick 10 that are, I didn't have 10 that were like, oh man, these are just killer. But anyway,
All right.
maybe maybe 5 are killer, but the rest are about the same. All right. So my first pick, I'm going to go with Big Log off of Robert Plant's
Love that record.
Moments. Just a beautiful song. The guitar work on there. Robbie Blunt's playing. It's just incredible. And, great singing by Robert, but that song it's another good mood setter. Anyway. All right. So my next pick,
All right.
I didn't pull any of my vinyl. I'm going to go with, Blue Oyster Cult, Take Me Away, like Gary had mentioned. It's a good rockin' tune by Blue Oyster Cult, man. I think, didn't Aldo Nova get a co-write on that? I think he did.
Who?
I think Aldo Nova co-wrote that.
Nice.
I think he was on this. Did he
That
play on
sounds
this
familiar,
record at
yeah.
all?
I don't remember, but I believe he did co-write that. So, yeah, it's just a great tune. I love that riff on there, man. Top-notch stuff. And my third pick, I think Logan already mentioned this. I'm going to go Why Me by Planet P.
Oh, shit. I'm looking at the comments and I'm not paying attention. Planet P Project. Yes.
What an
Tony
album.
Berry.
Man. This album is incredible.
Uh-huh.
It just gets you in this mood. It's it's a sci-fi feel to it, and that song is great. I mean, the whole album is so good. Static, King for a Day, Armageddon. Oh, great album. So anyway, those are my 3. I'm going to try and move this fairly quick tonight.
Yeah. Well, probably
All
time
great
for your
songs.
time for your bedtime too. All right, Todd Evans, you are up, my friend.
Well, 1983 is a big year for me. It was the year that I started working at the record store. I worked at a record store for about 5 or 6 years. And that was the first year. And so I always think of the big 1983 records as I always remember that they're from 83. And I've represented some of them tonight. But my first one is an obscure one. And I wanted to mention it because I kind of wanted to see if anybody remembered it. This is Minor Detail. They were a synth-pop duo from Ireland. And they were their music was kind of wholesome and sweet, but it was synthesizers and guitars as well. And it was 2 brothers, John and Willie Hughes. And John Hughes, they quit after like just a couple of years. And John Hughes went on to become the manager of the Irish band The Coors. So he made a lot of money. So don't cry for them for having a short career. But Canvases of Life is a great song. It peaked at number 92 in the U.S., but it was one of those songs that had a video that they played it on MTV, and it makes it seem like 92, is that all that got to? But it's got a glorious video of them playing keyboards and one guy on the guitar, and it looks like they're in a metal cage. Very 1983. And then my next one is, and Grant probably knows I was going to choose this one.
Of course.
That was then, but this is now from ABC, which the great thing about that song is that there's such a direction change between the 2 first and second ABC song albums. And Beauty Stabbed, this one is much more, much heavier and more guitar oriented than the first one. So that was then, and this is now, is a great, title to describe kind of what's happening to them. And then my number 8, and I'll probably get groans because I always talk about this album. I know nobody likes it but me. But from Paul McCartney's Pipes of Peace, there's a track on here called, who was that? There's a track on here called Keep Undercover. And it's just a super creative George Martin production. And if you like the Beatles at all, you'll like this song if you've never heard it.
I mean, come on, Todd. Look at this. This is
Nice.
This is the box set.
Yeah, I have the McCartney collection version as well. But yeah,
I
kind of
think
an
some
underrated
these-
record. Uneven, I'll give it that, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think this is just part 2. Tug of War. I think these were all recorded at the same time.
And I tell this story all the time. When I worked at the record store, I remember the day that it came out, and the box came in, and there were people that lined up behind me waiting for me to open the box.
Yeah.
And I put it right in people's hands. So there was a time in around 1983 when Paul McCartney was pretty popular.
Yvonne, I want to go backwards real quick, Todd.
Yes.
Let's talk about this real quick. If anybody on the panel would know this, Yvonne would know this. Yvonne,
Okay.
are you familiar with this at all?
I'm not. I don't know that record, so I will check that out. I didn't know that.
I was
It's a
hoping
really
Schnee might
strong
be.
record. Schnee, I'm sure, is all over this.
I don't know
It's
where
a
Schnee is.
UK band.
Irish.
Irish, okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know maybe in Norway. I'm just throwing it out because you're the closest thing out there. So
Yeah.
Schnee probably would pop in and go, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, yeah." I've
It's
got
one of
all
those
it."
records when you hear it, you go, "Wow, that's really good." Well, I wonder why they weren't more popular. But
Webb, nice
yeah,
to see you.
great record.
All right, super, great picks. All right, let's keep going. We're on to DC Tune Time.
Hello, everybody. Before we get into my top 10 for 83, I need to address a couple of grievous omissions from our 1982 show. How in the world did I not include Sheila from the Producers as one of my picks?
It was my honorable mention, I think.
Oh my God. That is power pop ear candy to infinity and beyond. And when I got that album, I kept on playing that song over and over like some David Cassidy obsessed 12-year-old girl with his latest single. And all these years later, I never tire of that song. And the second omission, any song from the Hughes Thrall release, how in the world did that get by as well? I'm going to pick Who Will You Run To, but it could have been 5 or 6 other songs from that album.
I picked the first track on there that night.
Yeah, I don't know how.
What the hell are you doing?
Complete brain fart there on those two. Okay, now let's get on to 83.
Okay.
My first pick is a song from a group that only had a little success on the singles charts, but when they did, it was bombastic, fresh, and monumental. And I'm talking about Golden Earring with Twilight Zone.
Great track.
I love this tune as I did Radar Love. Oddly, I never pursued their albums. I don't own one Golden Earring album, nor have I listened to a whole Golden Earring album in my lifetime. But I need to address that. But just one of those little quirky things because I love those songs so much, but for whatever reason, never perused the catalog. Okay, number 2. Let's go with a soul funk hit about a car. Or is it? If you know me, you don't. If you know me, you don't. You know I don't give two craps about cars. My only concerns about a car are: is it dependable, and does it have a good sound system? And I always hated those Beach Boys songs about their sweet rides. Boring, except for "Don't Worry, Baby," but that's more about racing than an actual car. And I went to high school with a guy who'd look at those car magazines like I would look at a Playboy or a Penthouse. You know, it's like Crankshaft Monthly. He would just drool over that.
Wait
stuff.
a minute. Crankshaft monthly?
All those auto cars, sometimes they'd specialize.
Hell.
Sure. So that's real, isn't it? I don't know. It sounds
It's-
familiar.
Hey, it's the 5th of the month. It's time for Crankshaft
Crankshaft
Monthly to
Monthly,
arrive in
yeah.
the mail.
And it's now only online.
I never even heard
No
of it.
longer in print. But back to the tune. Like I said, it's Little Red Corvette by Prince. The song builds and builds until you have that incredible chorus. Love all the little guitar and instrumental bits throughout the song. But I don't think it's really about a car. I think there's a duality theme
It's
here.
Crankshaft Weekly.
A hot car and a happening lady.
I love Prince. Prince is my guy. I have so much of him. I love him. So that's a good one.
Yeah, what a incredible talent across the boards. Player, singer, songwriter, everything, frontman. Okay, number 3. And when we talk about really great soul singers of the era, the aforementioned Prince comes up, Michael Jackson, Daryl Hall, Lionel Richie, Donna Summer. But a guy who always seems to get left out of the mix is someone I'm going to showcase right now. And it's Boy George from Culture Club. And the single that does not get the love it deserves is Time.
Oh,
Great song.
great song.
That opening with that initial drum beat, guitar riff, and bass line and strings is perfection. Great vocals and melody, like I say, and a great chorus. And an awesome sax solo for Marlon. Unlike songs about cars, songs about time always get me. Time is the enemy, folks. Once it's gone, and the opportunities and chances for joy are fleeting. Time won't give me time, indeed. And after this initial period of Culture Club, I didn't like anything that they did after these first 3 or 4 albums, which is very strange. For me, they just completely lost that magic they had early on. So I'm done. We got to get moving here. Top 3, boom.
I don't know.
On
I
to
don't have
John.
a problem with any of that later Culture Club stuff.
Maybe I need to
all
revisit it.
All right, Byron.
What?
What do you? I was going to eliminate you, but I won't because that'll wreck my.
Me and Johnny Metal are not probably Culture Club fans.
I was just gonna say though, just yesterday, I heard "Time Clock of the Heart" on the on satellite radio, and I was just kind of blown away. I was like, wow, that's a really good song.
It's really good.
So solid.
Great sounding recording too.
Oh,
we cover it all, folks, from what a very old man would like to these young hipsters that like that metal stuff.
Here, I'm just gonna. If Johnny Metal says something bad, instead of eliminating him, I'll just put this up.
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones has to express himself. My goodness. Wow, look at that. Sorry, Johnny Metal.
I only have
You're
one
good.
full artist.
We need like a bigger screen so we can put everything up. That's good, John. Peter, I appreciate it.
We've almost reached a Brady Bunch paradigm here tonight.
Oh, before we go on to Johnny, God, there's all these Johnny the music nut. I want to say, did anybody out there watching now watch the count last night that was on the listening party? And did Count Ralphus bring it? Holy crap.
I missed it.
Man.
I'm gonna watch it on the replay.
Freaking the Count is
It's
Count
freaking
Ralphus.
awesome.
No, the Count is the man. He brought it last night. Man. Pete Pardo popped in. It was great. It was fun. We will be having the Count back next month. We'll be doing an 80s metal show. So we got some things lined up. So yes, the Count will be back. Gary Joyce, Ralph nailed it. He did. It was great. He jammed the whole night. You've got to go out and watch that. Anyway, enough about me. Let's go over to John the Music Nut and get his next 3. John the Music Nut.
Okay, thanks, guys. Dan, sorry to disappoint you. I do not have a YNC song. However, Omaha Thunder might have one. I don't know his list, but I'm thinking if anyone does, it would be Byron.
You never know. We're not going to say.
But I know some of you all in the chat have already mentioned this band, so I could just sing the riff.
Why do I think that what John just did is going to rear its ugly head again sometime again?
It possibly will. And the chorus is a soccer chant. Iron Maiden, the Trooper.
There
From
you
Peace
go.
of Mind. There you go.
Nice Christian album there.
Absolutely.
I'll drink to that.
There you
Hallelujah.
go.
Go.
Oh, look, Ernesto's here.
Very catchy, under 4 minutes. That riff is the hook. It's a killer ass track. I'm thinking it must have been a big hit in England. There you go. Iron Maiden, the Trooper.
Kyle, Ralph was born only a couple days before Black Sabbath's debut. That's how you know he's metal as fuck. That might be the comment of the night.
Yeah, right from the get-go, it was there.
He is metal. That guy, he's a national treasure.
He is.
If the Count only talked a bit less, he'd be perfect. He just was rocking the whole night. It was great. All right, sorry, John. Go ahead. You're next.
It's all good, and it's true.
It's
He was
true.
rocking all night.
He was rocking all night hard.
He was. No
God,
doubts. All right, number 9. AOR track from the Breakthrough album for U2. Album is War. The song is Two Hearts Beat as One.
Mm-hmm.
Driven by that wonderful bass line by Adam Clayton. Kick-ass track. This one has this one has a cheer as the bridge. Yeah, I don't plug in, so that's why I go out once in a while.
Oh, well, John, just start over that sentence because we did lose some of it. So.
Sure, no problem. Two Hearts Beat as One, led by that bass line by Adam Clayton. And then you got a cheer there in the middle working as the bridge from Bono. Really cool track. Very big AOR track back in the day. Fantastic album.
Fantastic.
And my favorite song off the album. And I mean, there's a lot. New Year's Day and Sunday Bloody Sunday alone would make the album really strong, but there's a lot of other spectacular songs on there as well.
I think we call it a deep cut, this song, because it's not a single, so it's a nice
right.
song.
Well, I was thinking deep cut, but since it got played on AOR, I wouldn't like if it was never played on AOR, I would have called it a deep cut. So number 8. Now this was released during their down period where their hits weren't as big as they used to be, but then they would get a musical makeover on the next album in 85 as well as a visual makeover. But I think this is one of the best songs Heart ever did, and it's from Passion Works, and it's the single How Can I Refuse.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yep.
This chorus is to die for. You can really tell the choruses between when the band was doing the songwriting and then when they brought in the songwriters, because they were just like limp. Lowest common denominator choruses from 85.
Yeah.
And, like from the self-titled to Bad Animals and Brigade. But the early stuff like Barracuda, Straight On, fantastic choruses, and I think this is an excellent chorus. A great song. You don't hear it enough anymore. But yeah, there's my number 8. How Can I Refuse from Heart's Passion Works.
Scott, you know I do Radio Free Europe. I could see that. I don't think anybody. If anybody was going to choose any REM, it'd be Todd. And I don't think he chose any.
I almost picked REM up for a second.
Probably.
Yeah.
I didn't pick
Grant,
REM.
I thought you would.
Well, once I started looking at everything, it's just hard to narrow things down.
Yeah, it was a cut for me.
And then Heart had to go all. What about Love in 85? Yeah. There you go. Eric Robertson, my favorite Heart song. Good choice, John.
Thank you, Eric. It's probably that and probably Straight On for me.
All right, cool. Yvonne, guess
Yes.
what? You're up, my friend.
Yes, 83. It's one of my favorite year ever. 82, 83, 84 is my 3 best year in my life. But of course, I was young and listened to music. And of course, I watched movies. And these 2 movies here, Flashdance and Staying Alive, was my 2 favorite movie that year. And Staying Alive 5 years after Saturday Night Fever. So I love movies and music, and I still do. Okay, number 10 on my list. That's a song from this movie here, Flashdance. It's a very nice, slow song called Lady Lady with Esposito, and it was the love team song in this movie. I love this Flashdance movie. I see it so much. I think I have seen it maybe 30 times. It's so nice. It's a short movie, so it's just to watch it. I like it a lot. Okay, we can get to number 9, and this is something I like. We call it Italia Disco, and this guy here, Ryan Paris, have a song called Dolce Vita, and this Dolce Vita song was very, very hot in Norway. It was number 1 in France, Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, and Spain, and also number 3 in 4 in UK and number 3 in Germany.
He looks like a cross between Elijah Wood and Mel Gibson.
Yeah, he does.
A very young Mel Gibson, yeah.
And sprinkle a little bit of taco on top.
Yeah.
He doesn't like taco.
And this guy is 71 years old, and he was that in March, and he's still alive. So Ryan Paris, Dolce Vita, is a fabulous, very good. And if you listen to the 12-inch single, you have a long instrumental part of in the middle of the song. So this song is my dance song from 83. I love it so much. Okay, we can go to number 8, and number 8 is a famous lady. She was so big in Norway and UK. Bonnie Tyler, and the big song "Total Eclipse of My Heart." And I think it's a duet with a guy called Rory Dodd, and he come from Canada, I think. I have, and she was very, very hot in Norway and UK. And that was in February in '83. And I think in June, the single was released in America. And that was a thing in the 80s. Before, it was some songs were first released in Europe and UK, and then maybe 6 to 7 months after that, it come to America. But now I think all the songs are released at the same time and everywhere. So it sometimes, if a song comes in the end of the year, it could be 83, 84, 82, you know. But this Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of My Heart, is so good, and it's building up. And Jim Steinman, he is a good producer, and he's from America, I think. And that was the guy behind Meatloaf also.
Absolutely.
Did Todd Rundgren have anything to do with this either at all? Because
Not
didn't Todd
this.
do something with Bonnie Tyler? Or am I
Todd did a song with her about something about somebody's gotta love you. It might as well be me or something. I forget. I have it somewhere in my archives, but he did do a duet with her.
Okay.
Not on this album. I
okay.
believe,
I
but-
couldn't. I don't know Bonnie Tyler, but man, look at that. We're talking some Bonnie Tyler tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in the Warehaus.
Yeah, and Bonnie Tyler was so huge in Norway. She's still huge in Norway, and she comes over and have some concert in every year. And so she was, and It's a Heartache. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was the first song from her. But I still like her voice. She's a crispy voice. Maybe Rod Stewart and Bonnie Tyler, the same crispy voice.
Very much the female Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Tonality.
So she is an underrated artist. I think you should have a own show about her, Bonnie Tyler, Grant.
Hey, we could. Yvonne, you'd be the man for it.
I could do that.
Look,
but John,
Bonnie survived the laser beam through her head.
I was gonna say, John, does that cover look a little familiar? Maybe a little different with what's going through her head.
Oh,
Are you talking
I
Judas
see where
Priest?
you're going. Okay.
Tune in Wednesday, folks.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. There you go.
That was
Grant
good.
Bonnie Arthur.
I never got that. That's good.
It's a Star Wars, because in '83, this movie here, the Star Wars movie, Return of the Jedi, was very, very hot in '83. So
Yeah, it could be a takeoff of that.
Yes.
Never thought about it. All right, cool. Yvonne, bringing it as you always do. All right. I guess I'm up, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see where I got to find my.
Are you going before me
Oh,
or?
shit. No way. I got to go. You're up.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
No,
I'm,
sorry.
I'm down here on
I
a road by
know,
myself. I'm getting forgotten down here. So.
He feels lonely.
He's in the Charlie Weaver block.
That's all.
He's Charlie Weaver.
Wow.
I'm
There
the
you
nut
go.
for Bray.
Okay, John,
boy.
you are up.
All right. Well, as Grant likes to say, we're always wanting to bring about and talk about bands that nobody's talking about, or turning people on to something new. And I think I've done this a couple of times with this band from the Netherlands. This little band here called Picture.
Oh yeah.
With Eternal Dark, the title track. Now, by this point, the band had gone under a little bit of a personnel change. The singer was different. The guitar player had moved on, and there was a couple of different things going on in the band. But Pete Lavelle fills in quite nicely, and I love that title track from Eternal Dark. Great band, underlooked on from the Netherlands. Heck, I didn't even know about them until a few years ago, so I'm very happy to know who those guys are. Good folks. All right, next up, this is another one that I keep saying it's the only set of Gallagher brothers that means anything to me. I'm talking a little bit of Raven. I think I saw somebody post this Mind Over Metal from the All for One album. Oh man, got to see them play that live a couple years ago. That was really awesome to see that. It's kind of a surprise track at the end of doing the Wiped Out album in its entirety. How about something from the Rat EP?
Oh.
How about a little bit of You Think You're Tough?
Nice.
I mean, any of these songs really from this is a classic. but you think you're tough. It was probably always was the one that was probably one of my favorites from this album. So, and you know, I can't speak highly enough of the EP. To me, that's the best thing that those guys ever did. I love Out in the Cellar and I love Invasion of Your Privacy, but man, there's something special about that Rat EP. So
I thought on the 80s cruise, Stephen Pierce, he was saying that he's working on it and it's supposed to be re-released, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Nothing lights a fuse on me than a saucy lady with mice crawling up her legs.
Or a possum.
Or a possum.
is that after you've read your Crankshift Weekly?
Crankshift Weekly.
Is that Tawny Katane?
Yes.
Is that her legs?
Yes.
I think it is, right?
It is.
Yeah. I mean, it's an okay cover, but it's a great EP. I will give you that. Let's see what's happening around here. Tell the World from that Rat EP was my pick. All right. Rat EP is good.
A lot of love for the Rat EP.
I see that I am a pop guy here. Not necessarily, Yvonne. Hold on. We've got a wide range. That's the beauty of this panel.
It's a heavy start.
Right. Let's see. John, you just read my mind. I'm going to tell the world. Birds of Paradise is so good. All right, I'm going to go. All right. Once I have to scroll way up to the top. Okay, my first pick. I'm going to go with a band that I never really cared about too much back when I was younger. I appreciated them, but I appreciate them much now because this band started out in prog. They moved to pop, and if you can do prog as well as they did prog, you can do pop very well, and I think this album shows. I'm going to go with Genesis, Taking It All Too Hard. This is my favorite Genesis record. I think it's just perfect between what is prog and what isn't, and the pop sensibility. It's just, these guys know, I've said this before, these guys know how to write a hook.
Absolutely.
All excellent songwriters. Any of them. When it got down to the core trio, I mean, we filtered it down. Nothing against Peter Gabriel. But man, for pop songs, Taking It All Too Hard is a perfect pop song. And I love it. My number 2, we've already had DC talking about this, but I'm going to go with Culture Club. But It's a Miracle off of Color by Numbers. Yep. And stop shaking your... I'm gonna move him. That's not very nice. You're supposed to now. If this was kindergarten, BM, I mean Byron, whoever you are. If this was kindergarten and you were out there and someone did show and tell and showed something and you were out there going, the teacher would spank your ass.
Grant, that's a very good song, and the 12-inch version of It's a Miracle is fantastic.
The whole record's fantastic.
Yeah, I love Culture Club.
Oh, it's phenomenal, and I've seen them live. Phenomenal. So good. So good. You got Helen Terry singing with Boy George on most of this.
Let's get Byron some Culture Club records for Christmas.
There you go.
Speaking of Christmas, that picture LP I got from my Nana in Christmas in '83.
I do see something
She
behind
did not
Byron.
care for it.
Look at this, Byron. I just picked this up.
Nice.
Good deal. I got it on vinyl right there.
Well, you never see the CD of this.
No.
Never. Then I picked this up. Someone was getting rid of that. It's all from the same guy, and then I picked this up.
Yeah,
That's a great one.
Yeah, these are all...
That and the EP, you can't go wrong.
No, so I'm working through it. Might be a Queensryche episode in the making. Just popped into my head, so you never know. All right, my number 3. I'm going to go with Marshall Crenshaw, Whenever You're on My Mind from Field Day. This is when I saw Marshall was on this tour. Phenomenal. We just did a show on Marshall Crenshaw with Schnee. Love this record. This and the debut, anything off of this. People bitch about the Steve Lillywhite production. I don't have a problem with it. Marshall Crenshaw is a hell of a songwriter, and this is a phenomenal record. That's my number 3.
Excellent.
I'm going to throw it. And
I have that album. I just couldn't find it. So.
Oh, okay. BM, you're up, buddy.
I don't know how I have it, but
yeah, I have no idea. You hate everything.
it was
I have.
free. It's actually pretty good. I got it for free. So.
Holy crap! We got 53 comments because I presented and we have 53 comments. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We just had 80 people here. He does, exactly.
Yep.
We know Schnee loves Grant and Yvonne's picks. Of course he does.
Grant, you have a very nice picks. I love them.
Anyway, it's going to be hard to get to everybody tonight. Thanks everybody in the chat for showing up because we do want to keep it interactive, but it's hard for me to do it all. Anyway, let's throw her to BM Bolt and we'll keep her moving. BM, what's your next three?
You know, it's weird. I probably 40% of the songs tonight, I don't even know.
No, because you're just haven't studied like we have.
Fair. Well, you know, we'll see how it goes.
It's true.
But so I think this album, actually, the song on this album has been mentioned a couple of times. But I'm going to go with actually Who's Behind the Door. Yeah, I could have easily gone with Tell Me What You Want. Both great songs. You know, this is a great album. Great debut album. Great. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that on that one. Let's see. The next track, I'm going to go off of this. I'm going to go with Screaming in the Night. I think I saw somebody else pick the song off of here. Maybe the title track. This is their best album, really.
Easy.
I mean, Metal Rider is pretty good as well, but this was their sweet spot for me. Always liked that album.
Nice.
And okay, so then somebody else mentioned this, and the album's come up a couple times. I'm going to go with Changes off of this.
Nice.
To me, it's more of a Raven track. Because he does most of the singing on it, and I love Raven, you know. And but this song is just so good. The dun, 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 you know, that little riff that they're playing.
How does that go again?
Dun, 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 dun. You know,
can you do that without any extraneous noise? Ready, BM Go? Because
no, I'm done. That's
enough karaoke from BM.
Yes.
Well, I can see Grant's.
Everybody can hear it in their head now.
I mean, there's so many good songs on this album, though. You could really have picked 4 or 5 different tracks off of this. It was a great comeback album for them. I mean, a lot of people hate it because it's not prog enough, but I think it's a great album. So,
I think it's a great album too. When it came out, when I was a kid, I was a big Yes fan, and I didn't think twice because I love drama. I love this record. I didn't think twice. I remember getting this for Christmas in '83.
Yeah, I mean, and drama was fantastic as well, you know.
Right.
And you know, they broke up, and you're like, well, that's it. And then that 90125 came out, and it was like, wow, you know, it's a new band, but man, it kicked ass. So.
And the big song here was Honor of the Lonely Heart. It's huge.
But I mean, shit, that Hold On, It Can Happen, Leave It. I mean, any of those tracks could be picked for tonight.
Yeah, I have no problem. Mrs. BM Bold is in the chat, and she says thumbs down for BM's karaoke. Yeah, the BM Bolt fan club is not very strong tonight.
It's kind of hard to hum that riff and changes.
Young Logan likes it, so that means something. I don't mind Big Generator at all. It's just like the part 2 of this. I don't find it really.
I like it. Big Generator's great.
Not as good, but it's still solid.
Can we count Slade? Keep your hands off my power supply. Probably.
When it was Amazing Kamikaze Syndrome in '83, and then it got released in '84 in the States as Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply.
John was watching the episode the other night.
I owned them both too.
Yeah, that Slade album, that one you just showed, Grant, when I bought it back in the day, it was called Stomp Your Hands and Clap Your Feet. Yes, sir. Yes,
we always have to sneak in some aviary on every show and the hunt.
Absolutely.
As long as YouTube doesn't take it down, right?
Well, I've learned. I figured it out. I knew how to get around it. I know what the secret password is. YouTube, okay, real quick, before we go on. YouTube does not like you playing a whole album. You cut up the album into 4 tracks apiece, you're okay. That's the number. Because I tested it. I did 3, I did 4, I did 5. The version that I did with 5 tracks got booted. So 4 is the magic number. And with Aviary, I can revenue share with Brad Love. So I can monetize that video when it's broken up. Win-win for Mr. Arthur.
Attaboy.
There you go.
Attaboy.
You just never know. It's different rules for different things, but you cannot play an album on YouTube, and you cannot play any AC/DC at all. So just read my book. It's down below, How to Do YouTube Without Getting Booted. I'm going to write a book because I'm figuring all this stuff out. Leave It is the best Yes track. Ashley, you're late. I know, you're in Australia, so it's okay. Glad you're here. Cobra, Only You Can Rock Me. Logan picked him earlier. Logan's like a little metal boy is what he is. Asia, Open Your Eyes. Yeah, look, big one from Todd Evans there. Wang Chung, Dance Hall Days, good record. Runaway, a classic. All right, keep bringing it. All right, Todd Evans, you are up, my friend.
Okay, well, I'm going to start in the sort of the pop realm. This is we're going to talk about Spandau Ballet, but we're not going to talk about True. We're going to talk about Lifeline, which was the first single from this album. And Lifeline is a little bit more of a rock song than True. Spandau Ballet is an interesting band because they started out as an underground new romantic band. And like a lot of bands that start out in the underground, like you think about like New Order, they start, Spandau Ballet started really kind of raw. And then their second album, Diamond, was like a kind of a weird post-punk album. Side 2 of it is just out there. It's almost ambient in spots. So then when True came out, it was total polish. And so that was really interesting. But in a couple of songs, some of their indie roots showed through, and Lifeline is one of them. And that was the song that made me like that band. And it didn't do well as a single in the States, so nobody ever remembers it. My next one, Luis, I'm not sure how to say your name, picked 2 of mine in the comments, and this is one of the ones he picked. This is Saga, The Flyer from Heads or Tails.
Nice.
One of my favorite engineered albums of all time. A really hot, very a lot of people would probably say it has too much high frequency, but I love the way that record sounds. And The Flyer has tremendous energy, and really the whole album does. And so I actually like Heads or Tails a little better than Worlds Apart, which is saying a lot because Worlds Apart's great. And then my number 5 is Elvis Costello, Every Day I Write the Book. I think this is a great single.
Yeah.
Melodically, just a fantastic tune.
Yep.
And that was when he was going through a period where he was writing really hooky melodic songs, and he would continue that for another album, and then kind of go into a more stripped down and raw kind of a sound. But he would come back to this kind of sound on the Spike album a little bit. But I think one of Elvis Costello's best periods, 83, 84, for his songwriting.
Yep. Excellent. Todd's getting the love for the Saga pick.
Oh, great.
We're overdue
Yay.
to
He
mention
should.
Saga as well.
Yay,
as
what a
he
great
should.
record. Thank you.
Good record. There you go. Black Sabbath, Zero the Hero. Greg Ken Jeopardy. There you go.
Rest in peace.
Logan Grant pick Karma Chameleon. I could. I like it. She's a Beauty by the Tubes is all over the radio and on MTV. Love that song. Yep. Someone mentioned Fastway. Yep. Well, Fastway will make an appearance today.
Simmer down.
Simmer down, everybody.
Simmer
Easy down, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Todd. Let's go throw it over to DC. DC, you're up.
All right. Following up on my soul jag of my first 3 choices, let's get another favorite of mine out of the way. And my favorite blue-eyed soul singer is Daryl Hall. And I went with One on One from Hall & Oates. And it starts with that slightly mechanized drum beat and keyboards. But this is the way you do it 80s style. It doesn't lose its humanness or humanity. Just little touches of the era, but the humanness comes through. A real tour de force by Daryl. Slight falsetto at times. Wonderful heartfelt melody. And another sultry sax solo for Marlon. What a hit machine Hall & Oates were in the 80s.
Have you seen them live? Have you seen them live?
Oh,
Hall &
I
Oates?
probably, other than Todd Rundgren, I've probably seen Hall & Oates 15, 20 times over the course of my life. I'm an old stir. Just about every year that they toured, I would make it a point to see them.
Yvonne, I saw him twice on this tour.
Yeah, I saw him
I-
once on this tour. Yeah.
I've seen them 3 times in New York, Hall & Oates. And the last time, I think the voices were not so good. They were a little, not perfect, but I enjoyed it, but it was not perfect.
Daryl is starting to slip a little bit. And like I say, all of our heroes, they're getting up there, and that's hats off to them. They pretty much do nail it for the most part. But, man, just like everything, you're not what you were in your 20s and 30s. Take it from this old cat.
I saw them in 2013, and everything still seemed pretty good then.
Yeah, it's just only recently, and Daryl's had a lot of health problems with that when he had Lyme disease, and so I think it's kind of taken its toll, but still well worth seeing. Wonderful, wonderful vocalist. Unlike Todd, I am gonna dip my toes in the water with Spandau Ballet with True. That intro with the keys, the guitar riff, really sets the tone. It's soulful, swaying, dreamlike. And then the vocals come in with that refrain, Heaven. Now, I was just a little past my high school years when this hit, but had I been a teen of the 80s, this song would have replaced the bread tune on DC's Mood Setter playlist, faux show. And then we get another sultry sax solo, which was, I didn't really think about it. It was very big here in the early part of the 80s. All right, my last choice for this go-round brings us a tune, as Lawrence Welk would say, a real toe tapper, Talking in Your Sleep by the Romantics. I almost picked One in a Million, and they're both like right there.
Uh-oh. It disappeared. Hold on. It disappeared.
I like that song. Very nice. Very nice.
They're both. I almost picked One in a Million, and they're both really stellar tunes. But Talking in Your Sleep's got that great bass line, the drum beat, and that ethereal guitar line. And how could you not tap your foot to that?
Oh, it's a phenomenal record.
Yeah, very nice.
Absolutely.
I always thought the frontman of the Romantics looked like the love child of Billy Joel and Eric Carmen.
Oh God!
Look at this video and look at him, and it just looks like if those two were able to get together and produce offspring, that's what it would look like.
Only you, DC, would think
Only
that.
me, my tortured brain.
You're
tortured
tortured.
soul.
You're a tortured soul.
You know what, though?
I'm done.
Every romantic song, engineering-wise, sounds like $1 million. Every one of their singles sounds so good.
Yeah, Chef's Kiss.
agree.
Mwah.
Who produced that record? Do we know offhand?
I don't know offhand.
If we only had a way to look it up. DC is right. Gary Joyce says you're right, DC.
Thank you, Gary.
So if the principal says you're right, you're right.
I'm good. I'm good.
BM Bolt, I thought this was the Rock Warehouse. What are you talking about? BM Bolt,
He's
man.
saying my choices are soft. That's what he's alluding to. I can read between the lines.
Peter Solly was the producer for this album.
Peter Solly. Did he do anything else? Anybody know?
He recorded with Eric Clapton, Al Stewart, Whitesnake, produced albums for Ted Nugent, Oingo Boingo, Motorhead, Peter Frampton, The Sports, Reckless Eric, amongst others.
Okay. Christian, good night. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Night, Christian.
Steve Buscemi sang the shit out of True in The Wedding Singer.
Again.
You are correct.
Scott Powell, the Pop Warehouse.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, people just
I
give me
can-
their picks.
I can show you some early Spandau Ballet videos where they're quite rock.
Oh, yeah, they're all over the place.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, DC, was that your last pick?
I'm done for now. Now we got to move over to John.
John, you're up.
All right, thanks. Lounge Dweller, fantastic pick with Joe Boxer's Just Got Lucky. I am kicking myself for not picking
Yeah.
it. Because
How
if
could
I
you
forgot
not
about that
pick
too.
my number two.
That is a great tune. Oh
That is-
my God.
My
Top
God, how can we even have you on this panel?
I know. I should get some merit for it. But I'm going to make up for it. Because I do have a cool deep cut, a great pop song coming up. But till then, I got the first single from the huge album Sports from Huey Lewis and the News.
Grant's Pop Warehouse, ladies and gentlemen. We have Huey Lewis in the news.
There you go.
Heart and Soul.
Climbing the charts.
Plenty of guitar on this track, though. This song kills. Very catchy. Hooks galore. Love it. There's like 5 or 6 hits off this album. This album is huge. And that Night Ranger song is awesome too, Eric. Excellent. That's right, Scott. You know it. Damn.
Anybody know if this bar on this picture in sports is a real bar? Can you
real.
go there? Can you go and see the bar?
Yeah, it's in San Francisco, and it looks damn near the same as it does there.
Okay, nice.
They still got that TV up there, and it's operational.
Yeah, go on YouTube. There's I don't know, like a tour. I don't know what you'd have to look up to find it, but there is somebody that went there and went to check it out. So
Yes.
it's on YouTube somewhere.
Absolutely. Number 6. I don't own this. I haven't heard the song until I checked out. Well, I checked out YouTube recently just to see if I still remember it being so great. And this is a dance song. This is the only hit they had in the U.S. It's Reflex, and the song is The Politics of Dancing. If you don't know this song, check it out because it is infectious. It is an amazing song.
I know it.
Oh, what do you think of it?
I like it. It's Duran Duran vibe over it.
It does. Oh my gosh, I love this song to death. But anyway, yep. So
Stephen Schnee does not like this song at all.
he doesn't. Why not?
I don't know.
I'm
He doesn't
surprised.
like it. He doesn't
If
like
anybody
it.
has Sirius XM and if you ever listen to the First Wave channel, they play the Politics of Dancing about 3 times a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been listening to First Wave lately. Oh shoot.
Man, you know what?
Alrighty.
I was
Well,
just
I'm sorry.
looking at Eric Robertson's. I didn't pick any 38 special, and I easily could have.
That's a
I
great
failed.
song.
That's
I mean,
a great.
Absolutely.
It's astounding at the amount of material in a given year because, like John was saying, I cannot believe the Joe Boxers Just Got Lucky was like another one of those tunes I played over and over and over. 2024, don't even remember it. Don't even remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on one of those best of new wave compilations. I never owned the album, but I remember that song for me.
Oh, just killer. Just so
Big.
catchy.
Catchy.
So catchy.
Wonderful. All right, now we're going back to the Rock Warehouse here. I think this is the best lyric that Gene Simmons has ever written.
Oh God, I can
I've
hardly
been
wait.
down, I've been cursed, I've been guilty and abused. I spit in the hangman's face and I hung him with his noose. Not for the innocent from Lick It Up.
Yeah.
Yes.
That paints
There
a
you go.
picture.
I'm all on board with that.
Oh my God. That's for you, Peter Jones. I know you love that song. You mentioned on a Contrarians episode.
Is that the first record without makeup?
Yeah, it's the
Yes.
last great record they ever made, in my opinion.
Whoa. Really?
Yes. Absolutely. That's
All right. That's
Well,
a strong
maybe
statement.
Maybe from cover to cover, maybe I would have.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're looking at the whole album, yeah, probably.
yeah.
Talk
Vinny
D-Rocker.
gave-
That's
Vinny gave him a shot in the arm in the songwriting. Definitely will say that. But yeah, Not for the Innocent is Heavy Metal Kiss. Excellent track. It still sounds fantastic today. And Eric, I know you picked Exciter. That's a great one. That's the opening
I love that one too, but
right before Not for the Innocent. So
there.
there you go. Those are my picks.
All right. Super. All right. Yvonne.
Thank you, Byron.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going on number 7 on the list, and this is the signature song from Police, Every Breath You Take.
Nice.
And I think it's still a song that they got a lot of money from. So Police, this was from the 5th final studio album from Police, I think also. And I saw Police live in the early 2000 in Sweden. It was very, very nice. That was very, very good concert. And so that's my number 7, Every Breath You Take. And the video was also very, very nice. So I loved it was the MTV area. And I remember it was black and white, and it was a drum with some water on. And so perfect video. And
that
so,
was directed by, help me, 10cc guys.
okay, yeah. Cuddly and Cream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Beautiful video. Beautiful.
So, and song was released in June in the summer in '83, I think. Yeah. So let's go to number 6, and this is one of my favorite group. It's the Thompson Twins, and the Thompson Twins, of course, it was three people, and the song "Hold Me Now" was a very, very nice song. It was a special. Xylophone piano with Latino vibe on it, and Tom Bailey has the vocal of that song. And especially with this Thompson Twins, that this song was released in February in '84 in America, but in
Right.
Europe it was a hit in '83. So the song was still hit both in '83 and '84. And the album Into the Gap, I think this is the best album from Thompson Twins.
I agree. I think that's their best record. I love that record.
Saw Tom Bailey 2 months ago.
Okay.
He's still really good.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put the best set on. Yeah, his voice is held up wonderfully.
Yeah, I watched a video on YouTube with him, and I mean, it's not the Thompson Twins, but man, he sounded wonderful. It sounded like the Thompson Twins.
Absolutely.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, and then number 5, and of course it's Bandu Ballet. So this is the most
Yay.
popular record in the today.
Man,
and
I guess.
I picked the True song, and I can tell you a little about the song because Gary Kemp, he's the lead singer. He was had some feelings to this girl Claire Grogan from Alter Image group, the group called Alter Image. They have a very popular song in UK and called Happy Birthday Song. And he was also influenced with Marvin Gaye and Al Green. So, and of course the Beatles also. Gary Kemp was involved. He liked the Beatles also. So the True is a perfect slow ballad, and I still love it. All the songs that I have on my list is songs that I still love because it's so much from '83.
Yeah.
But,
Yvonne, it's so in agreement with you with that tune. Like I said, I was a little past those years, but that had to be the prom slow dance song of that era. Perfection.
Perfection.
It's weird to think back on that because I had that album before they broke in the States. And I remember listening to it going, I can't believe nobody likes this. And then like 2 months later.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
April '83, I think it was a hit in Norway and Europe.
Great choice.
All right, so number 1's ranking is Spandau Ballet True album tonight. So there you go. All right, let's throw it over to Johnny Metal.
All right. Well,
He's going to bring us back in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, you're not going to get any.
More Spandau Ballet from
I
Johnny.
was going to say you're not going to get any Spandau Ballet from me, but you know, I will say that the Big Country song that obviously would have been a good one. Anything from Journey Frontiers obviously would be very good stuff, but there was just so much stuff. Like again, you could pick so many Usual Suspects, and I didn't really want to go that direction, so I go with Twisted Sister and You Can't Stop Rock and Roll.
Nice.
As my next pick, you know, the title track from this album with the great video from it. You know, check out the series that John and I did on you know, Time to Get Twisted on my channel. You can hear all about this album. Next one, don't ask me what they're singing because it's all in Japanese and I have no idea what they're saying. But my God, do I love the title track from Loudness, Law of Devil's Land.
Hold on. It disappeared. God darn it.
So this is one of those early Loudness albums before they came out with Thunder in the East that was on Atlantic and Atco, and they broke into States and did that tour with Motley Crue. I loved it. There's Akira Takasaki is just a beast on this album. and I think it's just a stellar track. Absolutely love the early loudness stuff. So if you got the yen and you want to go spend it on some early loudness, I highly recommend it because it's very, very good. There you go. There's finally the cover.
Everybody knows my problem. I load everything up, and then when I go to find them, things disappear. It's the weirdest thing. Oh,
now,
God.
I hate to disappoint everybody by bringing it back to a little bit more on the poppy end, but I can't say something about 1983 without this song, because it would eventually lead me to my very first concert that I would go to with my brother, who was a big fan of the band. And Maureen, this one's for you because you said this one earlier in the chat. How about a little "Sexy and 17" from the Stray Cats? They were actually my very first concert in 1984 with some local band and a doo-wop band opening up for them up in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. But so there you go. But yeah, I admit I'm a big Stray Cats fan, so I do have an appreciation for that. So
Excellent. Yeah, you could not release that song today, ladies and gentlemen.
oh no.
Alice Cooper passed the gun around.
Oh yeah, that's from that blackout period.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go,
Love,
Ken.
loudness, carry the best.
Yep, he is a beast.
George
right.
LeMay loves loudness.
There you go.
There, sounds like a show being
We
made.
we got
Johnny
some...
Metal and George LeMay on the same show.
All right, I love it. Let's do it.
I can make things like that happen. Brian Manfred's Blues Breaker. Yep, that song rocks. All right. Stormbringer. Just popping in to say, hey, Caroline, I see you. 1983 is my birth year, and true. Oh my God, The Police's most underrated song. Oh God, yes. And Home by the Sea should definitely be my 83 top 10. Catch y'all this later. All right.
At least y'all didn't say Mother from Synchronicity yet.
Caroline, just make sure you leave a thumbs up before you leave.
Song.
Everybody, please.
Bizarre.
Won't you? Won't you, please?
And I never say that, but if you could leave a thumbs up, there's 80 people watching. If you could leave me a thumbs up, that would be swell.
Absolutely.
I would be flattered. So, oh, there's Dementia Cat.
Say hello.
All right, so Johnny Metal is done. I am
Yes.
up. So my next pick, once I scroll up to the top. Well, you mentioned, Yvonne mentioned the Thompson Twins, and I'm going to go with Dr. Doctor from Into the Gap. I could have picked anything off this record. I love this album. I never get tired of it. This was peak Thompson Twins. Great songwriting, great production. It checks all my boxes. So I'm going with that. Another one, someone early on mentioned this artist. And this, I think, is one of the greatest, you can quote me, one of the greatest tracks in 1983. And I'm going to go with Gary Myrick, The Message Is You from Language. This was an EP that he put out in 1983. If you know Gary Myrick, he was in Gary Myrick and the Figures. 2 great records, and then he did play guitar on the No Breaks album from John Waite. I freaking love Gary Myrick, and The Message Is You. If you know that track, let me know what you think because it's phenomenal.
Is it rock or pop, Grant?
Well, that's a pop song, I would say, but
I never heard about
he's
that.
more of a new wave.
Okay.
Gary Myrick played back in the day of the Sunset Strip. He was out there playing along with the Knack and 2020, and he got kind of roped in with those type of bands. But Gary Myrick and the Figures was much more of a new wave band. But this is a little bit of a departure and a little bit of a little tidbit that this album also has Curly Smith and Jay Ferguson from JoJo Gunn on here. So it's Gary, JJ. Wait a minute. Gary, God, I can't talk. Gary, Jay, and Curly are on this record together. And they play all of it.
Instead of Mo and Larry, right?
Exactly. It's like a tongue twister. There you go. KK knows. Gary Myrick talks in stereo. Great song. I can hear crickets. Of course you can. Can't we all? Oh, Maureen, rest in peace, Tito. Yeah, I guess he had a heart attack when he was driving.
Oh.
That's not good. Gary talks and yep, it's great. Thank you. Your name here. All right, my next one. I'm gonna go with call me a copycat, but I'm gonna go with Robert Plant, The Principle of Moments. But I'll go with In the Mood. I absolutely love this record. I like this record. Well, I'm not gonna say it'll cause an uproar, but
I know
these
where you're
Robert
going.
Plant's albums, I always listen to these more than the Led Zeppelin albums. Sorry, but I do.
Yeah, you got to be who you are.
But God, I think these early Robert Plant albums are just phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Man, I absolutely love
His whole solo catalog. I love.
it. All right.
I love it. I love Zeppelin too, but I love his solo catalog too.
Yep.
What about his new stuff? He's very slow. He's more mellow. The new stuff. The new
Yeah,
album.
country tinge.
More Americana sounding.
Yeah, to really fine tune it.
He seems to love doing that kind of thing, and he's happy. If he's happy with that, and that's what he wants to do, go for it.
Have
If
you
you
seen? Go
could
ahead.
spend time with Alison Krauss,
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
please
And that,
do.
so that was
Brilliant.
Please do.
such a good. I saw that show last year. It was a great show. Great show.
There's some videos up on YouTube with him singing recently with Alison Krauss, and they're doing some Led Zeppelin tracks.
When I saw them, they did 3 songs from Zep 4. They did Rock and Roll, Battle of Evermore, and When the Levee Breaks. And When the Levee Breaks was amazing.
Yeah, I've seen,
Wow.
Completely
couple of those.
reimagined, but it sounded amazing.
and you can tell when you watch Robert, he loves singing with Alison Krauss.
Oh yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant
Such
stuff.
a wonderful match.
Wonderful match. So everybody check that out.
Hey Grant, I
Yeah.
think we're being dissed.
Why?
From Mr. Mick Olson is referring to us as the Seven Stooges.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Why
jeez.
I oughta.
Ah,
Oh,
I
Mick.
oughta. Why I
Oh,
oughta.
watch it. I'll take your wrench.
yeah, he might hit you with it too.
Got to watch it, everybody. Big Log is a great song. Yeah, we mentioned that.
Yep.
Big Log, Summer of '83. I fondly remember. All right, let's keep this dog moving. That was my number 6. I did not, by the way, these are not in order. I just list them. The order means nothing. All right, BM Bolt, what's your next 4?
Okay, so no one's. I don't know if anybody's commented on this one or not, but I'm going to go off of the debut Alcatraz album, and I'm going to pick Hiroshima Mon Amour. Thought about going with Krina Kuri because it rocks a little harder, but this is kind of Yngwie's coming out. I mean, the Steeler album was before this, but that didn't really do hardly anything. But you got Graham Bonnet on vocals here. Yngwie just tears it up on this track. Throughout the whole album, really. This is coming out. Solid album. He only was there for that in the live album, though. Let's see. All right, this one's already been mentioned by John the Music Nut, but The Trooper.
Nice.
There you go.
That's on there. I picked the right album yet. Yes. So we've already discussed that. All right. So John and John are doing a series on Accept right now. So I thought, well, and I was on last week on the I'm a Rebel album, but I thought I'd pick something off of the Balls of the Wall album. I'm going to go with the title track, but I really wanted to go with Turn Me On, but I didn't. I went with Balls of the Wall because everybody knows that.
I always laugh when I see that cover.
It's a crazy cover, isn't it? But there's a lot of great tracks on this album. This album really started to break them pretty big, at least in the metal circles. The prior album did fairly well, but this really got them a lot of airplay in the States, and it's a good track. Balls to the Wall. And then another one that John, the Music Nut, already picked was Two Hearts Beat as One.
Oh, nice.
And
No, look at BM. Look
now,
at you.
Damn.
was there an extended version of that track too? I seem to remember it was really good.
I think they're
Probably
I
was.
don't know.
Because that
About
bass
6,
goes
7
on
minute
forever.
Yeah.
You mean a
was-
disco version?
Yeah, more of a kind of a dance mix. Yeah,
I think you're right. I
It
think
was
you're right, Byron.
really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I have
There's just
no
so
idea.
many good tracks on this, but that one, you don't hear it anymore really, and it's so good. A lot of the other songs I'm just kind of burned out on, but man, Two Hearts Beat is one you can't.
I'm going to go
wrong.
back to this just because it's so freaking funny.
My Nana had that poster in her kitchen.
What kind of ball is he holding?
I don't
it's a
even.
handball.
I don't even want to know.
Probably a handball.
Yeah.
God. And he's got a little leather thing. And I don't know what that, there's nothing on that clip. You think
I'm
he
sure
would have had
that
his
cover will
keys
get
on
a
there or
lot
something?
of
Yeah.
just dialogue on the John and John episode. when they
I can
come-
hardly wait. When is that going to be?
That's not for a couple of weeks. We're
Oh,
not recording that
cool.
one. We're not recording that one for a couple of weeks yet.
Well, I'll be tuning into that.
Or yeah, that'll come out like the beginning of October.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. So BM Bolt, that was your 4.
Those are my 4. It's
Very
not-
nice. Very nice. All right. Todd, you are up.
Okay, so who mentioned this one? Luis again, or Luis?
Luis.
This would be the Moody Blues Blue World.
Oh,
And,
Nice.
both of the Moody Blues albums from the early 80s that were produced by a guy named Pip Williams, this one and the present, both great albums. I would say if this was Long Distance Voyager, the present would be like Here. Not quite as good, but still pretty good. And Blue World is such a great song. It's got that kind of stripped down, kind of electronic drum sound that Alan Parsons Project songs had during that time. And Blue World is way underrated. I think it's one of their best songs.
Yeah.
All right. Something is funny. What's funny? What did I
I'm
miss?
just laughing. That leg is definitely not Victoria Principles. Like,
Someone's still hanging on to that. It is not.
I
It's
think
Tawny
that is-
Katane. No, it's Victoria
Is that
Principal.
okay? Wait a minute. We need to
All
get
right, that
this
is funny.
solved. That's funny. Wait a minute. Let me bring it up. Where is it again? Who was that? Was that you? Hang on. I can't even find it.
I think it was a Johnny Metal pick.
I know. I can't find Johnny Metal. There he
what's
is.
that,
All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to have a poll. Is this the leg of Victoria Principal or Tawny Katane?
I think it's George Michael.
It's probably the
Or
German
is it
version of
George
them.
Michael?
It's the
Everybody
German version of them.
knows.
That
Everybody
should be a
knows.
Rammstein cover or something, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it looks like. That would be perfect. That's
was-
what I'm thinking.
There was the great razor blade shortage of '83. If you fellas
There was a
remember.
shortage, wasn't there? All right, Todd. Sorry to derail you, but this
No
next pick,
problem.
people, it's just funny.
Well, it gave me time to look. Lewis says that he's not the one who mentioned Blue World. So apparently
Oh, he didn't.
I wrote down the right name when I was the wrong name when I was doing my notes. So
Oh, well,
sorry
that's
about that.
okay. It's
Somebody
all
did.
good.
Thanks for whoever did. So the next one I picked is somebody who was it? Ken White said, "You better not pick this." Well, Ken, I did. Mr. Roboto. Let me tell you something. Mr. Roboto is great, and I'm not taking any questions. Mr. Roboto, when that song was used in that Volkswagen commercial, I don't know, like 9 years ago or something like that, and people were
was
like,
probably
"Oh, I'm so surprised." that it's
20 years
popular
ago,
again."
probably.
You shouldn't be surprised because it's awesome. Mr. Roboto is one of the coolest songs of all time, and I love it. And I think it deserves to be mentioned here because it's very 1983.
It is.
So-
I like it. I
Very
like it too. I like
And
it.
don't forget, this is the album that Martin Popoff rated a 0 out of 10.
Yeah, well, it gets 1 point at least for
It was a
Mr.
0
Roboto.
out of 5, to be honest.
You remember when Martin did that, and I was sitting. I can't remember who was all on that show, but I'm like I was going, what? He was fired up. 0. Oh, come on, Martin. I think when I was a kid, though, I wasn't that into it. I thought this is where, for Styx, I thought the cracks had started here. Because I didn't think anything about Paradise Theater, had no problem with Cornerstone. But when this came out, I went, oh no, we've got problems, ladies and gentlemen.
I think
But
this
now-
is maybe. You feel better now?
I feel better about
Yeah.
it now. I can listen to it, and it doesn't make me want to go into the other room and vomit.
I think this is like a solid 7.5 record.
Yeah.
Out of
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, I think compared to some of that later Stick stuff, not talking the two albums, the most recent two.
Future
is a
show,
better record.
Martin Popoff versus Todd Evans on Kilroy Was Here.
We
that'd be
did
good.
when we did that show. We were.
did
I
that.
don't know whether this was
It
a
was a
later
Dark
show
Horse.
or whether
No,
it
just
was
a
that same
one-on-one.
But yeah,
No,
but
it
there was a
was
show where
Dark
we
Horse.
talked about Kilroy, and I was pretty sure it was a Dark Horse. But anyway, we kind of agreed that where this album falls apart is at the end with that rock and roll medley part that Dennis DeYoung doesn't pull off as much as he can pull off Mr. Roboto with great ease. Some stuff he can't pull off, and so I think the album falls apart at the end. I feel like nobody's listening to me. They're like, "We're done talking about Mr. Roboto. Shut up
I'm
already."
fine. I could talk about it all day. Tyler says Tommy Shaw rated this album 0 stars.
Yeah, well,
as well.
Tommy's got a bad attitude about Dennis DeYoung, so there you go.
Well, we looked on Sea Tranquility. We looked at those later Dennis DeYoung albums. Absolutely wonderful records. There's
records.
prog on them. They rock. There's ballads.
Hey, give them credit though. They actually did start playing Mr. Roboto a few years ago?
Yeah.
They did
Think
because
they-
it's awesome and everyone loves it.
And everybody goes nuts for it, and they finally got it. So there you go.
Todd, you were forgiven.
And they played it well.
Thanks, Ken. And I can set things straight now. It wasn't Lewis that mentioned Blue World by the Moody Blues. It was Mick Olson. So sorry about that. I messed that up. But my next one was mentioned by Lewis, and it's Marillion, He Knows You Know. I picked He Knows You Know because that was the first song I heard from this record. And it's such a weird song. And Fish put so much of his personality into that vocal. And I just think it's unforgettable. And I just think that this is a great record. And I think He Knows You Know is way underrated as a single.
Yeah.
It's a good 12-inch version of that song also.
Yeah, there is. It's very cool. Very cool. And my number one, we're going to talk about this
Oh, yeah.
another time.
Yeah.
Genesis Mama. And you know what? There's a lot of talk about Genesis being more of a pop band with Phil Collins at the helm and Peter Gabriel being the more adventurous, free-spirited type. But Mama's pretty weird. If you don't think about how successful it was, it's a super weird song, very strange. And they were really brave, I think, to make that the lead-off single from that album.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number one.
You said, I don't think, when I look at this version of Genesis, the thing is that people are always under the misconception is that Phil Collins wrote all the ballady stuff. And that's not true.
Not in
Mike
Genesis,
Rutherford wrote most of that ballady stuff, not Phil.
Yeah, Antonio at times, yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. But the way I look at this lineup, because it's just that I think that they just absolutely honed in their craft. When they got down to 3, this is what they sound like, and I don't think it's Phil necessarily leading. I look at this period as everybody is steering the ship to some degree, because look at this. When they would go in to record these albums, they would go in the studio and have nothing.
I was going to say that starting with this album, that was their plan, was that they decided that they were going to come to the session with nothing. Mm-hmm. That everything that they did was going to be collaborative. And it started with this album and it went all the way up through the end. And that's makes it even more remarkable that all of it was done by committee and none of it was done separately.
Yeah, there's actually video on there where I guess they shot a lot of VHS video, them just screwing around. It might be on a box set or something. Yeah. But yeah, it's just great to see how they go about putting these songs together. And someone will come up with like a drum riff, just a drum machine riff and build off of that. It's fascinating.
Yeah, or Tony would make a weird sound and Mike would go, "What is that? Loop that." And that's how they came up with a lot of those tracks.
Yeah, I love this record. I think it sounds great.
Thank you, KKWW. Thank you for that.
Right.
Everyone likes ballads. It's just a matter of whether or not they admit it.
A good song is a good song.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Speaking of great ballads, how about Send Her My Love by Journey?
That's a good one.
Absolutely great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Classic.
Yep.
The Fanatic by Felony. I know that. I've got that.
Yeah,
I think that Killing Floor of My radio didn't get that station. My radio didn't get that station. All right. D-Rocker. Okay, Ken. All right. My rankings. Number 10, Crocus, Night Wolf. Okay.
There we
Was
go.
that your okay, so that was your last one, right? All right. Let's keep moving. Sorry. I get distracted. There's like a light that goes through, you know. All right. DC, you're up.
All right, my last four. Here's a song and approach right out of left field for this artist, and something I definitely didn't expect from him. Billy Idol with Eyes Without a Face. I didn't think he had it in him to do this kind of approach. Again, that ethereal beginning with the driving beat and the delicate keys. And Billy Idol's voice is tenderer, if you can imagine that. Then you add female vocals on top of that to add to my utter confusion. Two verses in, and then we get what you would expect from Billy Idol as this song kicks into overdrive. So you kind of get the best of two worlds with this song, and then it all comes back to home at the end. It's a nice juxtaposition, and I salute Mr. Idol on this. Let's see. Next off, a unique group that's been mentioned and really brought something fresh to the 80s pop rock scene. These guys even had an influence on Rush, of all people. And the song that puts what they do in the hyperdrive is The Police with Synchronicity 2. Nice. It starts slightly spacey, and the drums kick in, and then we're off to the races. Just a relentlessly driving song with the kind of flavoring only The Police could do. It's a song about dysfunction and the Loch Ness Monster. Inspired. All three members are locked in, and it's a great, timeless track. Number nine on my list. A favorite of Ernesto. Ernesto, Are You Still Here? And me, from their hardest rocking album, bordering on metal. It's Thin Lizzy with Cold Sweat. And I could have picked any number of songs from this album and almost went with Bad Habits. But Cold Sweat it is. What a killer riff. And all the things that Thin Lizzy did so well on. There's that word again, hyperdrive. This is a fine send-off by a band that deserved much more popularity and acclaim, but the timing of things and circumstances and fate got in the way.
Awesome.
All right, and my last pick is, thankfully it's my final selection here, and it's another rockin' tune with a Motorhead connection. Say What You Will by Fastway.
There you go.
And there we go again with an infectious guitar riff, powerful drumming and bass line. Love the vocals. It's a rocker for the ages. And you want to click repeat when it gets to the end of the song. And this song, to me, always sounded like Dio fronting Black Sabbath. Does anybody else kind of hear that? I mean, I do. But I'm a little squirrely.
He is.
So that's it. I've completed my duties for 1983. Well, the
Excellent.
Tubes were on my honorable mention list. I see the Tubes come up a couple times. They were on my honorable mention list.
Was that Space Age Love Song, Luis?
83 would have been Wishing.
Wishing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Wishing.
I could have picked that too.
I almost picked it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. DC. John, the music nut, you are up.
All right, thanks. More Police love right now. Tyler, I believe you picked this. This was the second biggest hit and the second single of Synchronicity, and it's King of Pain. What a bridge.
Yeah.
This bridge is amazing. That's what really makes the song, in my opinion. It's excellent track. And the chorus is fantastic as well. Excellent song. Number 3. Now, this album came out in 1984. But the single was released in August of 1983, or Give Some Love to the Alarm. 68 Gun.
Very nice.
What an anthem this is. Fantastic track.
Anthem.
The Alarm's early stuff is awesome. Later on, they sounded more like U2, like the more poppy U2. But Declaration and Strength, those albums kill. And 68 Guns was the first track that I ever heard by them, and the song kills, and it's my number 3. Number 2, we're going cowpunk.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think anybody would pick this band, and no one did. And this is from another great EP called Fervor. I'm sorry, not Further. Fervor. Jason the Scorchers. Both sides of the line. You want to hear something that rocks like fuck? You want to hear something that's heavy?
Whoa.
Oh,
He said it, folks.
As I said it. Yeah, I think I might do a weekly series on this band down the road on the Music Nut program. Oh, love Jason the Scorchers, but this EP is spectacular. Yeah, they're cowpunk country meets punk, but this song really rocks like hell. It really does. Awesome. Highly recommend this song if you've never heard it before. Want to hear something that rocks like fuck? Yeah, that's right.
I see a t-shirt coming.
You read my mind, man. That is a t-shirt
Thank
right
you.
there.
Oh,
Grant's
that's right.
Rock Warehouse.
You want to
hear something that rocks like fuck? T-shirt.
I have the album from them. It's from '86, still standing.
That's a good one too.
Mm.
Everything they did was good. Oh gosh.
Gee whiz, that's absolutely insane.
Jay
Yeah,
Miller.
right.
Jay Miller says, John working blue.
Yeah, you are. You're working blue.
I'm
What a
the
clean
red
show.
fox of the panel.
Before we go on, John, is there a good Jason and the Scorchers comp that's out there? I don't think did any of their stuff ever even get released on CD. I remember they were like on EMI America or EMI Manhattan back in the day.
Yes,
What-
I have. Well, I have a collection from 1996 called Both Sides of the Line that has the whole Fervor EP and the whole Lost and Found LP, which was the first LP. But there isn't like a greatest hits or anything, but all their stuff you can find on CD.
Oh,
As a
okay.
matter of fact, I just bought Halcyon Times, which was their last album from 2010 on CD recently. I haven't listened to it yet, but I picked it up from Discogs. Pretty reasonable.
Ladies and gentlemen, who is talking Jason and the Scorchers? We are here in the warehouse, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
It's a CD from 1992, Grant, compilation.
Oh, there is?
Mm.
I haven't heard Jason and the Scorchers for years. I remember they used to play them like on Friday night videos, and
Yep.
maybe they played them on Night Flight. But
They
I
did
always
play
thought,
on Night Flight.
but I always thought, man, these guys are great. I think I might have picked up an album back in the day. Man, I need to revisit them because I just haven't listened to them for years.
They're a fantastic band. They played my area in like 86 or 87. I would have been too young to go to a club then, but a good friend of mine used to be a runner for that venue.
Mhm.
And she said not only were like they the coolest guys, but it was one of the best shows she ever saw. They were a phenomenal live band.
I think we should talk Judy Garland. Wow, if the Warehouse gets out there, I don't know. I'm not sure what to do about that.
There we go.
Golden Ball and Chain by
That's
Jasons
four.
and the Scorchers.
Dan's right.
Was that a video? That song
Yes, that
rings
was
a
the
bell.
full standard. Yeah, that was from
gotta-
86.
I can tell I'm going to spend some money tonight. Thanks,
Yeah,
John.
there you
Thanks,
go.
John.
Oh yeah, one more. I got one more. Y'all been a few of you have mentioned this in the chat. In a Big Country by Big Country.
Yes.
Excellent track from the Crossing. This is a great album too.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Excellent album. But yep, Bagpipes is my number one. So there you go. One wonderful song. Biggest hit they had here in the States. Fields of Fire was almost a hit from the same album. But yeah, In a Big Country is killer.
Yvonne, did Big Country were they big over in Norway?
Yeah, okay. They have some songs. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
the
the
only,
song. I like the song of the Big Country.
I think this was the only album that really did anything here, though.
I
I
believe you're
remember
right.
we did a Big Country show, but man, that was 2 years ago. All right, cool, excellent. All right, Yvonne, you're up.
Yeah, I want to take a little bit honorable mention, what we call it, because New Wave is very in my heart. And this is an album from a group called Industry, and they have a good song here, Still of the Night, and Lotus Eaters. This is a perfect album, and they have the song "The First Picture of You." It's a very, very nice ballad, very, very good album. And of course, Yazoo, "Nobody's Diary." That's a very, very nice song from '83. And we have more new wave. This is Fiction Factory, and "It Feels Like Heaven" was the hit song from this album. Perfect. And China Crisis, of course, Wishful Thinking, also a very nice new wave from '83. And this Grant knows about Motels and Suddenly Last Summer. I love that song. That was honorable mention from '83.
All right, excellent.
Okay, on my list, number 4 here is a guy called. This is the first album to Paul Young, and Paul Young has a very, very nice voice, and of course I love this 12-inch version of different songs. And Come Back and Stay from Paul Young is from the No Palais album, and this version here is 7:26 long, and it's a scratch version, and I love all this long version of the 12-inch records. Okay, then we go to number 3, and this guy here. I think, Grant, you have seen him live?
I saw him on the 80s cruise.
Yeah, Howard Jones. And this album here, Humans Live, is so nice. Man, What Is Love is one of the big songs from this album. But we can also play New Song and Condition and Pearlin. It's so many good songs. And this is a British guy, and he's still playing. And this was number 2 in UK, and I think was number 33 in America. So it was not a very big hit then, but they call it the second British invasion. He was part of that when he was releasing this What Is Love and that album.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Number 2, back again to this movie here, Flashdance movie. And this woman here, Irene Cara, she had this song here, Flashdance, What a Feeling. It's a song that is produced by Giorgio Moroder, and Giorgio Moroder is a producer of all this nice, good disco. And this song here, Flashdance, What a Feeling. I remember she was the actor who played this girl in this movie. She was doing some work, and the boss was coming there, and it was very nice, small pieces of this movie I have in my heart. So I love this movie, and of course this song Flashdance for the feeling.
Excellent.
So back to number 1, and if you see behind me the big picture of this guy here, he has two different color in the eyes, and this guy here made an album in '83, and of course the Let's Dance album. And here I pick also a very nice version of this Let's Dance. It's a long version, nearly 8 minutes. So David Bowie is, I love David Bowie. I have so much songs and in my heart over here. And China Girl is the favorite from this album I pick as number 1. So and it was a very nice video also with this, and I think it's. Itchy, this idiot called the album with Itchy, he was producing that from this China Girl was a song from his album, and David Bowie re-recorded it.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right.
And I think because he had some money problems, so therefore he helping his friend Itchy with recording this China Girl version of his album. And of course Neil Roger is the big producer on this Let's Dance album. So it was so huge. I think that was the biggest album in '83 in the pop and the charts, I think.
Yeah, I still remember when I went and saw that Marshall Crenshaw, The Tubes, and Hall & Oates. They were playing the entire. Why do I remember shit like this? They were playing the whole Let's Dance album before the show started. I just remember that. I don't know. But it was a big record. Bowie proved that he could make a pop record. It's a wonderful record,
Bowie touched all bases. That guy was a complete chameleon. I mean, he could, whatever he felt like doing, he could do it.
Who's talking Irene Cara on the Warehouse? Hey, you never know what we're going to have. Bowie needed bigger boxing gloves on the cover.
And one love song that I have not have mentioned is this "Lady Love Me One More Time" with George Benson.
Nice.
I love this.
Wait a minute. Let me make you big.
This is a 12-inch version of George Benson, "Lady Love Me One More Time." And I listened to this Radio Luxembourg, and it was playing this song a lot on Radio Luxembourg. And they also play Rod Stewart's "Baby Jane." That was also very popular in Radio Luxembourg. So
Very nice.
those also good songs from 83. It's so many hits from 83. So
it's amazing, amazing year.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Yvonne. Excellent. All right, John. Johnny Metal. Come on.
All right. So Eric Robertson, I want to address something. You mentioned Aggressive Perfector by Slayer. While I dig Slayer, I am actually not a huge fan of that first album. That first album is just, some songs are great, but for the most part, I'll take Hell Awaits over it any day, and Haunting the Chapel. But anyway, my first pick, it's already been talked about. Anytime we get to show this lovely cover, because Grant loves it so much, of course I'm going to say Balls to the Wall.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing them with I'll be flying
Ball.
home
Hopefully he'll be holding the ball.
Yeah, well, Udo's not in the band anymore, and I think that's who that really is. So,
darn.
But anyway, John and I will be seeing them on Friday. I'll be flying home to Pennsylvania, so John and I will get to be hanging out with Davey Cretin as well. So we want to give him a little, give Davey a little shout out and some love. Go check out Cretin's Classics once you're done checking out John's channel as well. Let's see. What was my next? Oh, I know what my next one was. Yeah. So again, I like talking about these bands that nobody knows about, and it did my heart so much good to see Pete Pardo do a ranking the albums by Warlord.
There you go.
And I'm going to pick the song "Child of the Damned." It's just a wonderful track, a chugging song. I love the solo, love the vocal melody on this. It's just a wonderful, wonderful track. When I saw that Pete Pardo and John from Lair of the Alchemist was going to do this through their catalog, I was like, oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I was so happy to see that. Big Warlord fan here, so I'm glad to see that. Let's see. I believe, Grant, you flashed this one up.
Yes.
I mean, I just got to see Jeff Tate back in March or earlier this year, I think it was. And just getting to hear Jeff with 4 guitar players and his rest of his band do Queen of the Reich. Incredible. Jeff just sounds amazing. I know a lot of people are very big Todd LaTorre fans, that he can nail it, but there's something about hearing it from the man himself. The actual voice of Queensryche. I love that whole EP, but there is just something so special about Queen of the Reich. My last one, I'm actually going with the live version of this, because this is another one of those songs that when I was a teenager and I saw these videos on MTV, these live performances, there was something really, really powerful about this. And I don't know what it is about New Year's Day from Under a Blood Red Sky, but I absolutely adore that version much more than the studio version. And I mean, I love this whole album. This was really my gateway to U2, but I absolutely love New Year's Day. Shh. No, that was Sunday.
That's a short album, maybe an EP, isn't it?
Yeah. They considered it an EP. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's about as long as Van Halen's Fair Warning, if you think about it. So
I played the heck out of this when it came out.
Oh, I did too.
And if I really, this is honest to God truth, if I ever go and pick a U2 record to listen to, this is always my first pick. I love this live record.
Yes.
I don't understand why.
Grant and Company, I have a question about U2, because it's not so popular to like U2 now. It's not a popular group anymore, I think, if you're a music critic and a music lover. So, but I still love U2. I think U2 have made a lot of good records and albums.
I think they were just overplayed. I think that people got tired of hearing about U2 all the time.
Well,
maybe.
I mean, their last few albums, I don't really think have been that stellar compared to this early stuff.
Agreed.
That's just my opinion. I mean, I didn't really think much of the free album they gave us on iTunes.
Yeah.
And even the one after that, I just didn't. I don't know. They didn't do anything for me. And then some of the clips I saw of them in that big sphere thing in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, some of it, depending on who you saw it from, those clips sounded terrible. Bono sounded awful in those things.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
But
I think those last two records are pretty good, but they're not great. And I think that they're kind of lost. I think that they're too close to it to know that they need to just totally come back with something. They need to have an album that has their picture on it, that has the U2 logo on it, that has a name that's not something of something, and just get on with it and do like a restart. But I think they're just too close to it. I think they're lost.
And I feel also that Coldplay maybe is nearly coming the same way that U2.
Coldplay is even more lost.
Yeah,
agree.
they lost everything. So both of these two groups, I think they're a good group. They have a lot of good albums, but they are back to track, I think.
Coldplay was never found by me, so they were always lost to me.
I
Their
never
first,
found
second, and
Coldplay
third
either.
albums are so good.
Yeah,
And
the
then-
2-3 albums, they're very,
I think
very
the four
nice.
and then it
albums
just takes a
after that.
dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube should just do a vaudeville album and cleanse the palate. Then they'll find themselves again.
Anything
Anything.
that gets them,
Polkas.
that shakes them up out
Yeah.
of whatever they're in. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what you need. You just need to go as far away from what you normally would do.
But Coldplay is still doing very big concerts in Europe, and they're very popular. A lot of people.
They're just
They're
a
good.
blitz
They're
here.
good.
I don't
Good
understand
live. Good
how.
live also. Good
Yeah.
live also. Yeah.
My wife said about them, and when we were watching them play at the Super Bowl, when they did that halftime show,
Yeah.
she said, you looked at them and they were like, what are we doing here? They were like, she even thought, we don't belong here on the Super Bowl stage. And I agree. But
See, I'm not a big fan
Sorry,
of
Coldplay
Rattle and
fans.
Hum.
Yeah, but it's an interesting discussion because U2 and Coldplay is nearly two different groups, but they're maybe in the same line now because they need to come out of that line and make better records.
You think, well, Scott might have a good point. You think when U2 uploaded that album to everybody's iPhone, you think that was...
way too much has been made of that. It was so easy to get that album off your phone. It really, and people are like, "Oh no, it wasn't. It was really hard." It wasn't.
you just
hard.
delete
Just take
it.
it off your phone. Yeah.
But I don't know. That just seems pretty pompous to download it to
Yeah,
everybody's
I think
phone.
people. It wasn't that difficult to get rid of it. It was just like kind of a how dare you? Don't be putting stuff on my phone, which is my property, unless I'm asking for it.
And it wasn't
I
even
just
really
think
that good. And it wasn't even really that good of an album.
It wasn't, and it was just such a bad idea. But I mean, it's nothing to be like hung up on
Yeah, don't-
18 years later.
Yeah, don't
But I
hold
see
on to-
people really are still angry about it.
I
and
know.
Yeah.
Let it
I'm
go,
like- I
folks.
I mean, I'm not.
Let it go.
Let
I'm
it
not.
go.
I played it when I got it. I thought, oh, cool. All right, thanks. Rattle
Save
and
me
Hum
from
is
buying
pretty...
it.
Well, I like Rattle and Hum, the movie. I don't care for Rattle and Hum, the soundtrack.
Nah, me either.
Yeah. That's
All right.
that's speaking of cracks, rattle and hum. We weren't talking about cracks, but there you go.
Pretty much. All
All right,
right.
man, you're up.
I'm up. No. Scroll. Yeah, there we are. All right. I did Gary Myrick. I did Robert Plant. Oh, my number 6. I'm going to go with Utopia Crybaby from Oblivion. This is my favorite Utopia song, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's a pop masterpiece.
It is.
I would even say power pop. It is wonderful track, and I even like the video. And
When it came out, I was like, "This is it.
This is it.
It's time.
This is
Utopia's
gonna
gonna break
pow.
through."
Yeah.
nothing happened.
And then nothing.
I like this record too. I have no problem with Oblivion, POV. I love those records. There's not a Utopia album that I dislike. If you haven't heard Oblivion, go check it out.
It's
number
American band Utopia?
Yeah, Todd Rundgren in Utopia.
Okay, yeah.
See, they're not big in Norway.
No, no.
Well, they're not big here.
They're not big anywhere.
Even though Todd's of Norwegian
Yeah.
extraction and
Yeah, I
background.
know that. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
All right, my number 7. Yvonne mentioned it. I'm going to go with the Motel Suddenly Last Summer. Little Robbers, 1983, of course. Shani and I just did a motel show. And this, when I think, and I mentioned this during the show, that I hear this song and it just takes me to summer. This is definitely a summer song. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Martha Davis's vocals, great. The band sounds great. Shani and I were talking about it. We're not exactly sure who's playing on this album by this time. A lot of studio musicians, but still.
And Grant, after the show, I love this show you have about the motels. Then I tried to find out. I have this on the vinyl, and I found the Motels Shock album also on vinyl. So I just bought that last week.
Yeah, they're all good. All that Capitol stuff's good. It's just
I collect them now, I think.
yeah. Awesome, Yvonne. All right, number 8, I'm going to go with Tears for Fears. How could I not choose Tears for Fears? Pale Shelter, The Hurting. I think this is just this is, should I say that? I think I can say it. This is probably my favorite Tears for Fears album because I think it's brilliant.
The next one is my favorite.
Interesting.
Well, because I think we get a lot of, I think they share the lead vocals more on this album than any album after.
More raw sound also, I think.
Yeah, but there's something about it. If anybody ever watched the film Donnie Darko, when they played the songs in that soundtrack, it just fit that movie perfectly.
I agree. And the last Tear for Fear album is so good.
Oh, it's great. There's one coming out soon.
Yeah, next
I know,
month.
yeah, next month.
Next month.
Yeah. I love that group, yeah.
I think I've got it pre-ordered.
Have you made a show about Tears for Fears, Grant?
No, but I should.
Yeah, you should do it when the new album coming. Oh.
There you go. I'm marking that down, Yvonne. Definitely. All right, my number 9, I'm going to go with XTC, Wonderland off Moomer. I love XTC, as everyone knows. And how could I not include XTC? This album, I think, this is the first album I think that Terry Chambers, I think, is only playing on 2 tracks on here, and then he quit. He didn't want XTC to become a studio band, but hey, I don't have a problem with this record. I think this record sounds wonderful. I love it. I love this song. I like the whole thing. So I'm recommending that. And then my number 10, which, again, I didn't rank these. I'm just throwing them out. I'm going to go with Thomas Dolby, One of Our Submarines.
Yes.
Originally came out on the Blinded by Science EP, and then eventually that got all incorporated into his first album because that record had been, I don't know how many different versions there are of that record. But they pull tracks off. They added this in, but
there's even different versions of different versions.
Yeah. So don't ask
that
me
one
which
with
one
the
to
second
get.
cover with the cartoon cover there's like 3 different versions of that, remixes, subbed in, and stuff like that.
I wish they could have just made a decision on which one to go with. But One of Our Submarines, hands down, my favorite Thomas Dolby track. I never get tired of it. In fact, when I was a kid, before I even had the album, I had this EP on a cassette, and I just remember playing it in my room at night because it's a lot of it is such a late night record to me. I love the whole EP, and of course, everything that's on the EP is on the album now. But it's great.
And Grant, back to XTC.
Yes,
I have this Dear God 12-inch single, and that's my favorite song of this group. You like that song, Dear
I
God?
love it. I've got the CD version of it.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's just like your 12-inch, but it's just the CD version. It's phenomenal. Oh, yeah. I like it. So there you go. My number 10, and we've done it. We've almost went 2 hours. Of course this show's going to go 2 hours. And I can tell we're down to 72 people. Sea of Tranquility has started. So anyway, let's real quick see what's happening in the chat. Simple Minds Waterfront. I said it before, you guys should check out the later catalog of Aha. Great stuff.
Yeah.
The Hurting and Songs from the Big Chair are great. No, there are no bad Tears for Fears albums. I like them all.
Yeah, on Bicycle Legs channel, me and Daniel ranked the Tears for Fears catalog.
Oh, well,
check
there you go. Check that
his
out.
channel.
Yeah.
Pale Shelter is a pop masterpiece. Yeah.
Moonlight Shadow med Mike Oldfield. That was also a very nice song in '83.
Mike Oldfield is a retirement project for me.
Okay.
The Motels looks vaudeville enough too for you, DC.
I like that Martha Davis.
Too, she's a beauty.
Da-da-da, whatever the hell else.
Me and her in a bottle of giggle water. There you go.
Ken White, I saw Utopia New Year's Eve 1981.
Oh,
Richfield
wow.
Coliseum.
Pow, pow, pow.
Remember back in the day, Utopia could sell Richfield Coliseum.
Oh, for whatever reason, Todd in Utopia is ginormous in Northeast Ohio.
Yep.
Even coming down, although the whole state of Ohio loves Todd for whatever reason.
Yeah. That motorcycle framed drum kit got burned up when the
Trap
Warehaus.
Yeah.
And same
I used
with,
to have a poster of Willie. It was a Sabian Symbols ad, and it was a poster of Willie on the Trapparatus.
yeah, what else got destroyed in that Warehouse fire?
That
I think
guitar
part of the
that
raw, or did the raw
No,
snare
that-
thing? Did that
that
survive?
made it because
Oh,
they
it
took
did?
it on the last tour.
Okay.
Yeah, but that guitar that he's playing on the POV videos, that's like a religious symbol of some kind. That's made out of plexiglass.
It's aluminum.
Yeah. That got
it's
stolen.
a Vino. What's the name of that guitar company? Can't remember. Vino or something. It's like Italian.
Amongst a whole bunch of other things. Yeah. Or I mean,
Don't forget
got
the
stolen,
Boone's
it burned
Farm.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, that giant head of Raw, that prop where Todd would climb up at every show, he was putting himself in a bit of danger there every night when he did that. And he's regaled people with a few stories there of almost biting it.
Did Talk release an album in '83?
Not sure.
No, I
Was
don't
that
think
the
so.
debut or is that 84?
Yeah, I think
No,
it was
84
not
seems too late. I think 81, 82 maybe. No Night Ranger, Metallica, 38 Special, Molly Crew.
Let's see.
No, Party's Over came out in '82, and It's My Life was '84.
My Life in 84.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric, we don't have enough people. We need more people on this panel, and we don't have enough screen room.
When you think about it, we've got 7 people making 10 choices, and we just scratched the surface. Plus
Right.
all the comments in. All
I
right,
have a
Ken.
I have a Metallica honorable mention for him. Seek and Destroy.
There you go. It's My Life. I love all that stuff. Roland and Kurt were in a cool mod revival band called Graduate before they formed Tears for Fears. There's some videos on there in the band when they were in a band before that. And The Hunt wrapped it up in '82. See, The Hunt missed 1983.
This album, Pretenders, also was out in '83. Middle of the Road and Back of the Chain Gang. That's a good album also.
Last great one. I don't know why the Pretenders couldn't milk it. You know, I think the first album is so brilliant. The second album's not as brilliant, but still, they just kept going down. I don't know why.
Half the band died.
Right.
Yeah, I think they were starting to just
Well,
their
I
personal
know.
issues were starting to cause it to twogging downhill.
Bam Bolt's ready to go to bed.
But I
He
just had
needs his
the
elixir
I just
before
made
he
a couple
goes to take a
comments.
nap.
What's he talking about?
Grant.
Oh, yeah.
It's so many rock metal types here, and nobody mentioned Joe and Jet. This album is from '83. I love Joe and Jet. I tried to collect all of her albums, and this is a very nice album from '83.
It's a massive
Big friend.
undertaking. Even among 7 people, 10 choices.
Yeah.
Still, there's stuff that
Massive
falls through.
undertaking.
Massive.
All right. Well, yes.
Thank you,
This
Louise.
sounds like a good comment to end on. Hey, it was a great show, Grant, and the panel. I'm looking forward to 1984 to steal some of Todd's picks. Well, we'll be doing 1984. That'll be next month.
Yes.
We haven't planned that, but
That's
we've
great.
got more. I'll be in contact with the panel Let's see if we can do this again.
Hey, Lewis has got great taste. What can I say?
Yeah, he does.
Absolutely.
Isn't it interesting when you see people commenting and you're thinking, oh, I like that. I really like that too. And it's just like you're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that with D Rocker.
The Elder, where have you been?
Elder.
Where have you been? Thanks, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Thanks, Ken.
Ken.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. We'll be back. We'll be back here in a couple weeks. So we'll see you. And if I don't see you, keep it clean. All right, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.